Okay, so if you were absent or you missed the understanding of what the postcard assignment is about, I wanted to go ahead and go over that for you. And this is the same instructions for both honors and regular, but there are just minor adjustments, and I will make sure to let you know that when we get to that point. So, if you're in the postcard assignment on Canvas, remember that if you are absent, you need to start up here with this information. So you need to make sure that you are taking notes with that quote integration note page, that practice. And then you need to watch the screencast that I did called Quote Integration Notes. And it talks about what it means to integrate quotes and how you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so you have to watch this first before you're going to be able to understand the information in the postcard assignment. But moving forward from that, so if we're looking at the bulk of the assignment, this is exactly, for the most part, what's written on your assignment page that I passed out in class last week. But what you can do is you can go ahead and click this Odyssey postcard assignment directions, and it should pop up a PDF for you. And when you click on it, it'll pull up something like this. So, like I said, this is the exact same for every single class except for one minor tweak. Again, I'll point that out when we get to it. So, on this assignment, like it says, there are only 3 ways to properly integrate quotations. So, you have your full sentence plus colon, you have the introductory phrase plus comma, and then you have the flow or the weave into your own writing. If that makes 0 sense to you, remember, go back to the assignment and you're going to have to watch this quote integration notes and practice with that, okay? So, looking at the assignment, remember, your task with this assignment, or you're going to pretend that you are Odysseus for this assignment, okay? So you're pretending that you're Odysseus, and you are going to write a postcard with the following details or the following items. I have this little, like, these check mark boxes for you to check off as you go through this to help you off if that, or to help you understand what's going on. If you are visual like me, I really like to check them off as I go. So that's just for you there if you need it. But like I said, you're writing from the point of view of Odysseus. So for this project, you were going to pretend that you are Odysseus. You were then going to write a postcard or like a letter back to a family member who's home in Ithaca. So you can write to Penelope, your wife. You can write to Telemachus, your son. Or you can write to one of your parents. Okay? So once you've decided who it is that you want to write to, then you're choosing only one of Odysseus's epic adventures from books 9 through 12 to write about, okay? So if you're like, hey, I want to talk about the Cyclops, cool, that's great. The Cyclops and Polyphemus specifically are found in book 9. If you're like, hey, I really liked learning about, and I think it's interesting to talk about Circe turning all the men into pigs, cool, Circe's in book 10. If you really like the idea of Scylla and Charybdis or Apollo's island with his sacred cattle, both of those are in book 12, okay? You might have missed book 12 if you were absent last week when we read it in class. I've gone ahead on the assignment. I've just I've linked book 12 for you. So when you click it, it'll pop it up. And it'll start with the sirens right here in the song they sing, and then move forward with the rest of the story, okay? It is a shorter chapter, so if you want to go over it, by all means. But if you're like, yeah, Miss Nation, I don't have time, cool, then just go ahead and maybe do book 9 or book 10, okay? All right, so again, you're pretending you're Odysseus, you're writing to a family member about one of your adventures that you had in one of these books. Once you've decided that, then what you need to do, this is the most important, so you need to go ahead and explain the adventure. So you need to decide what it is that you think that you should tell your family member about, okay? What specifically do you think that they should know? I ask that you only focus on one adventure just because there are so many details that are included in each of these books that I would prefer you to just make sure that you're focusing on one of these epic adventures and not combining them. Okay, so we're practicing our essential skills, remember, of picking out main ideas or picking out like things that are the most important thing that we feel like someone should know about one of these things, right, from our reading. So be creative in your writing, but include any personal or emotional details that you think that Odysseus might feel or show at this point in his journey, okay? After you've done that, you're going to properly integrate and cite 2 different quotes into your writing. Now, if you're in honors, you are doing 3 and not 2 quotes, okay? So regs are doing 2, honors is doing all 3, okay? So when I say that you're going to directly quote 2 of the quote integration techniques, what that means is that out of these 3 techniques up here, you have to have 2 quotes, and each one of those quotes has to be a different way that you would integrate a quote, okay? So you can't have both quotes be the first sentence plus a colon example. It could be first sentence plus colon, and then another one could be the introductory phrase plus a comma, okay? If you're in honors, you're doing all 3, okay? So each one of your quotes has to have each one of those styles, okay? So you're going to do the flow weave, you're going to do the comma, as well as the colon, okay? But regs, you have a little bit of wiggle room. You can pick 2 of the 3 to do, all right? Okay, so then once you've written your postcard, you're then going to decorate the front of it, or the blank side of it, to creatively reflect the adventure you've chosen. So if I go back to my assignment right here, I'm looking at the directions. I have that open already, but I have the blank Odyssey postcard template for you right here. And it's going to pop up a PowerPoint for you. And you can print the PowerPoint. You can just print the slides. Or if you just want to have a blank piece of paper and you copy the lines, that's totally fine. But one of the sides is going to have this blank area, this giant rectangle. And this is where you're going to draw something creative that has to do with what you talk about here on the postcard side. Okay, so if you can think of a postcard, usually it has like artwork or a picture or a photo or a drawing or maybe like a big old quote. That's totally fine. Just FYI, I'm totally okay if you're drawing like stick figures here, right? I'm not an artist. You might not be. That's totally fine. That's not expected of you to have like this Mona Lisa artwork, right? But essentially, you're only getting 5 points for your artwork. So as long as it looks like you took more than like 5, maybe 10 minutes to draw your art right here, then you're golden, okay? Essentially, I want you to put a little bit more thought and detail in it than, oh shoot, I have to turn this in and I completely forgot to draw on the cover, and here, cover me while I quickly do this and ask Miss Nation a question so that I can quickly get a picture in, right? As long as that's not the situation, then you're going to get the points, okay? All right, so let's go back to the assignment here. I want to show you the rubric here at the bottom, okay? So I have right here, this assignment is worth 30 points. If you're in my reg class, it's worth 30 points. If you're in honors, it's worth 40 points, okay? So for my regs, I've left all 3 of the examples here as to the quote integration styles, right? So we have the full sentence plus colon, the introductory phrase plus the comma, and then the flow or the weave, right? Because I'm not sure which 2 you're going to be picking, I left all 3 there. So don't think that Miss Nation doesn't know how to do math, right? And these points add up to 40. It's not the case. It's just I don't know which styles you're going to use, so I've just left all 3 there, right? And for my regs, I have this note. It says, remember, you're only doing 2 of these quote integrations, okay? Honors, that's completely different. You're doing all 3, okay? Regs only 2, honors all 3, okay? So for each quote that you drop into your writing, you're getting 10 points if you do it correctly. So it says right here, you get 5 points for you to properly integrate the quote using this style, right? That doesn't mean I'm just including a quote in my writing and there I have it, I'm done. No, you have to use that style for you to get the points, right? And you have to properly use it. It's not just like, okay, I put colons, I'm good. No, you got to use it correctly, right? That's why you got to watch these notes up here, the quote integration notes, for you to understand and learn how to do it appropriately, okay? So then the other half of those points come from the MLA citation. So I've given you the example right here. So after your quote in your writing, you need to have the parentheses, and in the parentheses it says Homer, our author of the Odyssey, space, and then whatever the book number is, period, the line number. You're not actually going to write the word book or the word lines. You're just putting numbers there. So it would be like Homer 9.7 through 10, right? Whatever it may be, it should just say a number dot another number, okay? So again, you have regs, you have 2 of the 3 styles to do. Honors, you have all 3 to do, okay? So this is the biggest part of your points are these quotes, integrating them correctly, and then getting the correct citation, okay? You are going to get 5 points for including any personal or emotional details to make sure that like you appear to be like Odysseus, excuse me, from the Odyssey, right? So you're including any details or whatever it is that you think he might say to Penelope or Telemachus or his parents, whatever, right? Whatever you want to include to be creative, that's totally fine. And then again, the last 5 points is just that detailed, colorful illustration of your adventure, all right, which is on the front side of the postcard. So again, this is 30 points for regs, 40 points for honors, okay? So this is the assignment. You're not going to turn it in via Canvas. If you look down here, it says that you're submitting this through paper. So this assignment is due on Tuesday for regs and Wednesday for honors. So if you were in my reg class, we had Friday to work on this. So we had Friday to work on this, or if you're hybrid, we're working on this on Monday. And then if you're honors, we're working on this on Monday as well, okay? So again, this is due Tuesday for my regs and Wednesday for hybrid and honors, okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. Again, it just gives you a couple more details here. But the idea with this is for us to practice our essential skills. So we're working on identifying like the main idea of what it is that we're reading, right? Using evidence to support what we have to say, right? Using our quotes to support it. And then the last thing, this new thing that we're working on is properly including our quotes and integrating them into what we're writing, okay? Let me know if you have questions. I do have examples in my class that I can show you from past students. Just let me know and I can show you. All right, thanks guys.